What is up, though, Lions fans? It's your boy, Mr. Let me try that again. What is up, though, Lions fans? It's your boy, Motor City Don P. We're back here once again. You already know what time it is. It is time to bust that rhyme and talk about the grit and the grind going down the line. East Coast, number 9. All right, you already know what time it is. When you see me front your TV, number one thing's for certain and 3 things are for sure. I am all over the place. Number 1, the Motor City Cats R&D back at it. Number 2, we came to give you stats and none of that static. And number 3, perhaps the most important number of them all, number 3. Want to make sure you keep your Lions news pragmatic, and you may be asking yourself, how, Don? How, Mr. P? Does one keep that Lions news pragmatic? Well, it's very simple. I'm going to tell you. No, I don't keep it from you. Smash like button, subscribe, and share with your peoples. And once you've done those things, in any order you've done them in, you've indeed kept your Lions news pragmatic. And since we're talking about your peoples, and sharing is caring, once you've shared this stream with your mothers, your brothers, your fathers, your sisters, your cousins, your uncles, your brothers, your fathers, your sisters, your mothers, your brothers, your fathers, you name it, you have indeed cared about these people. What is up, though, everybody in the chat? What up, though, Mr. Morale 313? What up, though, the people who are lurking and twerking and smirking and working all at the same time? But if you're doing something else other than those things, I don't really want to know. Keep it to yourself. Hell no, Karen. Keep your bland ass potato salad to yourself. We got some things that we're gonna get into today, man. We're going to be talking about free agency, and we're going to be talking about our own free agency, and we're going to give you an update on what the Detroit Lions are looking at these days. We got a report that the Lions are sniffing around a certain position group, and we're going to get to all of those things. We're going to get to what are the Lions going to do with our own free agents or their own free agents. As we are not part of the team, we just feel like we are. But we want to know what's going on with all of that, so we will get into all of that momentarily. All right. Let's get it cracking. We do have an article from the one and only Doc Macaron, friend of the show. You already know what it is. Detroit Lions on SI. He says, report. Lions are doing lots of homework on free agent tackles. All right. What does that mean? If the Lions are doing a lot of homework on free agent tackles, does that mean that they believe that Taylor Decker is gone? Have they been given the information from Taylor Decker himself that he is gone? Either way, I like the fact that they're doing that, because they weren't looking around free agent centers when Frank Ragnow was on the fence about his playing future and things of that nature. So instead of being left holding the bag this time, Brad Holmes is following the breadcrumbs that say Taylor Decker, or that lead to Taylor Decker retiring. So now he is going out to look at free agent tackles and do some homework. Again, that's awesome. I do need you to be looking at free agent centers as well, but the fact that they're looking at this position is great. So let's get into the article. The doc writes, the Detroit Lions are still awaiting the decision of veteran left tackle Taylor Decker regarding his playing future. Speaking to reporters during a draft video conference, NFL draft analyst Daniel Jeremiah, was asked about his assessment on the tackle class and to share who he believes Detroit could target at pick number 17 if they decide to select a lineman. Prior to disclosing a pair of tackles he was high on, Jeremiah revealed that Detroit had also been doing their due diligence in the free agent tackle market. Sounds like they've been doing a lot of homework on free agent tackles, said Jeremiah. So, I mean, that shows you that they're, we'll see what happens with Decker. But it feels like there could definitely be a need there. Even if Decker returns, the Lions are likely still in search of a tackle depth, as Giovanni Manu remains a question mark heading into his third NFL season. What up to Irv Gotti? Okay, so we know that the Lions are now looking around, looking around free agent tackles. They're doing their due diligence. Oh, Ron, do I have something for you, buddy? I've got an article just for you. And the funny thing is that you showed up. I wasn't even going to read the article, but I'm going to today. All right. So this article goes on to say 2 tackles the Lions could draft, which remember, Daniel Jeremiah is a draft guy. Okay. Your Bears are getting something, Ron. I'm gonna tell you, just hold on, just stay for a minute. Stay for a minute. All right, 2 tackles the Lions could draft. Jeremiah offered 2 tackles he believed fit the mold of what the Lions look for in offensive linemen. Georgia Bulldogs offensive lineman Monroe Freeling, right? As Monroe Freeling's name is heating up to the Detroit Lions. Has been a prospect that has been moving up many draft boards due to his grittiness and ability to excel quickly at the next level. He's gritty. What is his, injury history? Because if he's gritty and he's got an injury history, he's going to be a Lion. Anyway, when you're looking at numbers at pick number 17, Monroe Freeling makes a lot of sense there, said Jeremiah, as someone who's kind of got the excellent size. There's some torque and physicality and aggressiveness to him in the way he plays. I like Blake Miller a lot. I would imagine the fact that he's got 54 starts, was a high school wrestler, 35-inch arms. He's going to bench over 30 reps, probably jump over 30. I would imagine that he would be popular and highly thought of there in that room for the kind of stuff they value. Jeremiah added, those 2 guys to me would make a lot of sense. Example of Freeling demonstrating grit. Jeremiah elaborated on what he learned after speaking to Bulldogs offensive line coach Stacy Searles. On Freeling as a player, just to give you an idea about him, it's the unique combination of mom as a yoga instructor, which I would always love for an offensive lineman to have a mom as a yoga instructor in terms of the flexibility stuff. Jeremiah explained. All right, Daniel, calm down talking about people's moms and stretching and flexibility and yoga. Come on now. In talking to their offensive line coach, Stacy Searles, he was telling me a story about how Freeling has a high ankle sprain, is supposed to be out for several weeks. And the next week they play Auburn and said, hey, if there's an emergency, could we use you? Absolutely, coach. He said the kid ends up going out there and playing 63 snaps in that game. So it kind of speaks to his toughness and competitiveness and kind of feels Dan Campbell to me. So that one would make a lot of sense. I don't know what his mom being a yoga instructor has to do with anything. Just because your mom does yoga and instructs it doesn't mean that you're going to be out there doing it with your hitting your downward dog and your upward gupta and all that other stuff and making yourself a pretzel and stretching and all this other stuff. I think Daniel Jeremiah just wanted to shout out his mom and maybe shoot a shot. I think that's what was happening. Brent DeWitt, what up, though? Says Decker is a warrior, and I think he'll try one more season, even if his body is telling him otherwise. He said, my mind is telling me no, but my body is telling me no too. I don't see nothing wrong. We're playing another season. You know what I mean? You already know what it is. All right, let's do something let's do something for Ron here. Let's do something for Ron. I'm not even going to read the title. I'm not even going to read the title of the article. I'm going to tell you who wrote it. Okay? And I want everybody to point and laugh. Okay, I want everybody to point and laugh at Ron just for a minute here, and then we can get back to the Detroit Lions free agency stuff. The article is from the doc, John McElroy. He said, the Detroit Lions may eventually play their rival Chicago Bears in a different state other than Illinois. At Soldier Field this past season, Detroit was able to close out the regular season with a victory, giving head coach Dan Campbell another winning season in Motown. It appears that a move to playing in a stadium located in Hammond, Indiana, has taken strides forward following the passage of a bill that established a Northwest Indiana Stadium Authority to build, finance, and lease a stadium. Excuse me. A Bears team statement read, the passage of Super Bowl 27 the passage of SB 27. This is the name of the bill. It's weird, right? SB 27 would mark the most meaningful step forward in our stadium planning efforts to date. We are committed to finishing the remaining site-specific necessary due diligence to support our vision to build a world-class stadium near the Wolf Lake area in Hammond, Indiana. The Bears express appreciation for the efforts of key Indiana politicians who helped to facilitate a potential new stadium. We are committed to finishing the remaining site-specific necessary due diligence to support our vision to build a world-class stadium near the Wolf Lake area in Hammond, Indiana. We appreciate the leadership shown by Governor Braun, Speaker Houston, Senator Mishler, and members of the Indiana General Assembly in establishing this critical framework and path forward to deliver a premier venue for all of Chicagoland, and a destination for Bears fans and visitors from across the globe. We value our partnership and look forward to continuing to build our working relationship together. So that's pretty much it. Everybody point and laugh at Ron. You're losing your team. Oh, the Indianapolis Bears. How about the Hammond Cubs? The Indiana Bears. You can't call it Chicago and not be anywhere in the state of Illinois. I'm sorry. I know we played in Pontiac, Michigan for quite some time with the Silver Dome, but we were in the state of Michigan. Y'all dudes about to be playing in Indiana, the Indianapolis Colts versus the Indianapolis Bears. Woo! Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Woo! Hey, Ron, if you think they're going to take the division, that's fine, but they're going to take it somewhere else. Woo, Lord have mercy. All right. So Mr. Morale says, I think his mind should tell him to stay on the couch. The Indiana Bears, baby. Irv Gotti says, whoo! Oh, the Indiana Bears. Lord have mercy. The Indianapolis Bears. Yes, sir, Bob and Jimmy. All right, now let's get back to the Detroit Lions and what they're doing. Now, we've got some free agents coming up here, or who are already free agents. We already know DJ Reader is a free agent. Alex Anzalone is a free agent because their contracts voided already. We talked about this. Let me see here. Okay, here it goes. So I will read you who the free agent is, and I will read you feelings about that person. These are not my feelings. All right. So I need y'all to go ahead and chime in as soon as you hear it. Tell me if you agree or disagree with these feelings. We'll chop it up a little bit. We'll see if we should bring them back. Okay. So I need the whole chat. I need the whole chat to make this smooth. Y'all go ahead and participate. All right. So defensive free agents, Alex Anzalone, linebacker, synopsis, a cornerstone of the defense who is coming off an injury. Okay. He's not coming off of an injury. I don't know where that synopsis came from. Feelings, the sentiment is mixed. While he is a leader, his departure feels somewhat destined due to the financial numbers game and the presence of younger talent like Jack Campbell. There is a belief that the team could potentially find a way to get better at the position if he moves on. All right. What do y'all think about Alex Anzalone? Should we bring him back? Should we move on? Let's see what we got. Mr. Morale 313 says Alex Anzalone is probably gone, and I am okay with it. I'm going to agree with that. I think he's probably gone. I'm okay with it, but I'm only okay with it because I want this Detroit Lions team to play modern defense. I want them to get out of the 1980s. I want them to get out of the 1930s. Play some defense that the top defenses play. It's a copycat league. Go look, copy. Okay, please. Just cut and paste. That's all I want you to do. If the most dominant defenses in the league are playing nickel, they're playing 4-2-5. If they're playing dime, if they're playing quarters, whatever the hell they are doing, please go and do it. Just replicate it, because this stuff we're doing with these 3 linebackers and 4 linebackers and 56 linebackers on the roster, it's not working. Stop it. Get some help. All right. Brent DeWitt says Alex Anzalone, bye-bye. All right. Let's move on to the next one. The next one is Amik Robertson, cornerback. Synopsis, a valuable nickel and outside corner who had a rough 2025 season. Feelings, there's a strong optimism about him. The team seems happy with him. He is viewed as a priority because of the uncertainty and lack of depth in the secondary. What do you guys think about Amik, the freak? Should he be here or should he be gone? Speaking of 4-2-5, didn't AG run that? No. If he did, did he? Because we've always been a 3 linebacker team. It's like we're the only, we've been running 3 linebackers for quite some time. If AG ran the 4-2-5, he probably did it at a time where we didn't have any defensive talent. Because I remember Rodrigo being out there with Alex Anzalone and like Derek Barnes and all this other stuff. So it may have just been, if he ran it, it was brief because our linebacking room sucked and Alex Anzalone was the only one that we had. This is obviously before we got Jack Campbell. But yeah, during those days, our defense, we didn't even have the talent. We didn't have the players. We have Brian Branch. We have Terrion Arnold, who shout out to Terrion Arnold. You gotta cut people out. You gotta get better friends. I think y'all have heard about that situation right now already by this point, where some people that had some ties to him, maybe, okay, were involved in a robbery, maybe, and a kidnapping, maybe, and it may have been something to do with something that happened with an Airbnb. Okay, it's all very vague, okay? But if he ran it, we didn't have the personnel to actually run it. We didn't really have the personnel to do anything, right? But once you get the personnel that we have where you can move people, you can put Terrion at nickel. You can put Brian Branch at nickel, right? You can be effective. You can have a Devon Witherspoon. You can have like a Nick Emanwori, who you're probably going to have to go out and draft, right? Because he's big, strong, he's fast, kind of in the mold of Cam Chancellor, okay? But If he ran it, like I said, we didn't have the personnel. Keep Amik if the price is right. I wouldn't mind having Amik back, but if he left, I wouldn't cry. I would agree with you guys. The sentiment is, if the price is right, we can keep him. If he does leave, then we're not crying over spilled milk. My only issue with Amik is that just put him out there for what he's good at. We got to get past these injuries and stuff, and we just keep asking guys to do stuff that they're not good at. And this is, again, why we need to switch philosophies on defense. We need to be doing zone coverage more often than man coverage. You don't have the horses. You just go out. This is what I was talking about if AG ran the 4-2-5 occasionally. You didn't have the horses. Now you don't have the horses again, because you go and you say, I'm going to run man coverage, ego and this, that, and the third thing, and mano. Cool. We're trotting out Thomas Harper. We're trotting out Daniel Thomas. We're trotting out Amik Robertson. DJ Reed is not the best. Again, he's not the best man cover corner. I'm sorry. He gave up too many yards in games where he played against quote unquote elite competition. And if you're the number one corner, that's why you're the number one corner, because you're going to get Justin Jefferson. You're going to get Jamar Chase. You're going to get Devontae Adams. You're going to get CeeDee Lamb. You're going to get DK Metcalf. You're going to get AJ Brown. You're going to get these number one wide receivers. So you got to strap up and be ready to play. That's it. So, cool. All right, next up is Al-Quadin Muhammad. Edge. Synopsis: a rotational edge rusher who produced 11 sacks last season. Feelings: he is considered the biggest wild card. While he earned a raise, there is a question about his fit, as his speed rushing style might be more valuable to a team that doesn't prioritize run defense as heavily as the Lions do. What do we think about AQM? I blame MCDC for that, because you know how good that squad is with our 63-man roster. Yeah, the professional practice players, and what do? They practice football professionally. We're talking about practice. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about practice. Yeah, the vet squad: Thomas Harper, Daniel Thomas, Arthur Millette, the Legion of Whom, and all those boys. No, we need to stop that. What up, though, Zach J? AQM pass unless it's for the right price. Here's what I would say about what was said here. While he has earned a raise, there is a question about his fit, as his speed rushing style might be more valuable to a team that doesn't prioritize run defense as heavily as the Lions do. Brother, our run defense was cheeks. Booty butt, booty butt, booty butt, cheeks. Booty butt, booty butt, booty butt, cheeks. That's what our run defense was. So for us to be prioritizing the run, we didn't do a good enough job at that at all. AQM did get 11 sacks. Now, my only thing with AQM is I think he's going to be 32 next season. He's never done this before. If he's going to cost you $8 million per season, then you're probably going to get a guy that has, especially if you're getting an old guy, get a guy that's done this before. His previous high in sacks in a single season was 6. Get a guy that's done this before, right? You may not be getting a Joey Bosa. Like we said, Bradley Chubb is available, and there's some other people out there. You probably could coax Zadarius Smith back out of retirement. But anyway, again, Switching schemes will help with a lot of this because your speed rusher would then be he would be appreciated. Okay. I'm tired of you telling me that we've got to draft Marcus Davenport. A guy's got to be 6'6", 280, 290. And then all you're trying to do is stop the run. Well, brother, you have to be able to get after the passer. Of course, Brad Holmes believes that they got after the passer at a great clip because they had two guys with double-digit sacks. Well, that's awesome. We missed the playoffs. You can't victory lap when you miss the playoffs. You can't talk about how solid this unit was when you miss the playoffs. I don't think any other team had that, No, sorry, Brad. No, we're not doing that. Okay. Sometimes I think Brad Holmes doesn't know football. It's crazy. I'm not gonna say he doesn't know football, but sometimes he just gives me that feeling like the vibe is wrong. I don't know. We had two guys with double-digit sacks. I don't know how many. Brother, that's 25 sacks between the two of them. How many did you have total? 27. You know what I'm saying? I know it wasn't 27. And I know their sack numbers were actually, I think, top 5 for the season. But again, they weren't effective sacks. They weren't effective sacks because they came in bunches. They came in bunches and helped you beat Baltimore. Okay, you were 9-8. You lost 8 games. You didn't make the playoffs. At some point in time, those numbers, whether you have two guys with 25 sacks between them, or you have 6-7 guys with 59, 60 sacks between them, like the Denver Broncos, right? Which one is better? So it just needs to be a difference in the philosophy. It needs to be changed. 69-man roster. Not paying $10 million for him. I wouldn't pay $10 million. I just think there's going to be some team that sees his 11 sacks and overpays him. And that's going to happen because there's a lot of teams that don't watch film. And it's all on tape. Like the evidence is there. They just look at, I don't know how these people have jobs. Some of these people, bro, how do they have jobs? Oh, let's just look at those numbers. Oh my God. He had 11 sacks. Bro, he been in the league 10 years. When the last time he had 11 sacks? Oh, never? Okay, why did he get 11 sacks this year? Let me actually put some film on. And if I don't know what I'm looking at, let me have my coach come in here. I'm the GM. Maybe I don't know what I'm looking at. Maybe I was never a scout. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a money guy who's parlayed his way into being the general manager of the team. And I need to ask someone for some help. So go ask someone for some help, bro. Go do that. If we let AQM go, then Brad better not pull a Carlton Davis and DJ Reed scenario again. What enhancement did we get? Well, Carlton Davis was different. And I know what you're saying, right? If it becomes a DJ Reed situation, it's got to be someone who's clearly better. I don't think that it's hard because we said AQM has done this one time in his career. 11 sacks. Forget 11, double-digit sacks. One time in his career. His previous career high was 6. Okay? We drafted a guy in the 6th round named James Houston who got 8 in 7 games as a rookie. So I don't think it's difficult to find a guy that can get double-digit sacks that you're going to pay for on the open market. So I don't think that the situations are comparable, to be quite honest. AQM should get his final bag somewhere else. You ain't lying. Well, how many elite passes do you want? 2, 3? Yes, Brad, 2 or 3. Pass rushers, yeah, I know what you meant. AQM disappeared for too many stretches. Yes, he had 7 games with sacks, 10 games, no sacks. So, all right. Moving on to our next free agent. We have Roy Lopez, nose tackle. Synopsis: a reliable backup nose tackle who rotates with the starters. Feelings: seen as an easy re-signing, the team views him as a priority to maintain depth, especially if other veteran interior linemen are not retained. Yeah, I don't think that there's too much of a question about Roy Lopez. I think you need to go ahead and re-sign him. You're losing DJ Reader, so you can bump up his pay a little bit. The only way I'm not re-signing Roy Lopez is if Roy Lopez gets drunk off his own supply or gets high off his own supply and goes, I had a great season. I'm gonna go out and test free agency and I want $15 million a year. Nah, bro. We're not keeping you for that. Bring Roy back. Yes, sir. BRB, bring Roy back. Right. That's my sentiment as well. I think that you should bring him back. But again, if he gets high on his own supply, I'm sorry. Just can't do it. Just can't do it. All right. Brett DeWitt says Lopez was a pleasant surprise and he earned another contract. That's within reason. Yes, 100% within reason. All right. The next one is Rock Ya-Sin, cornerback. Synopsis: a veteran with positional versatility who can also play safety. Feelings: viewed as a shoo-in to return because he provides trustworthy veteran depth in a secondary that has struggled with injuries. Okay, Rock Ya-Sin. I want to bring him back. But my reasoning for wanting to bring him back is not something I'm comfortable with. Another BRB from Zach J, right? Bring Rock back. Yeah, I don't have a problem with him coming back. I think he needs to come back. We do need the solid veteran backup. He's much better than the people that are on the vet squad. Funny enough to say, because he's a vet, right? I just hope that he's not forced to play as much as he was forced to play. I'm just tired of seeing all these injuries. And we need to bring back people as injury insurance, which is called roster building. I know you need depth and things of that nature. But bring him back and just hope he doesn't have to play as much as he had to play this season. What up, though, Tactical Sport? All right. So, Tactical, we are reading synopsises of our free agents, and then you guys react in the chat. What do you believe should happen? And then I'll come through and agree, disagree, whatever. Give you my reasoning, and then we will move on to the next one. All right. Vontae Maddox, safety. Synopsis: a veteran who performed well in spot duty and earned a high PFF grade. Feelings: bringing him back is seen as a priority to provide stability and veteran leadership while younger safeties like Brian Branch recover from injuries. This is again very similar to the Rocket scene stuff. What I don't want happening is you're bringing back Avonte Maddox and you're going, oh, we're cool. We can weather the storm until, the first 6, 7, 8 games that Brian Branch is going to miss. And we can throw Rockets, we can throw Avonte Maddox out there. Hometown kid, Detroit dude, love all that. Want him to come back. But again, I don't want it to be at the expense of common sense. And what I mean by at the expense of common sense, we got Avonte Maddox. We good. No, that's not common sense, bro. He is an aging veteran. He's on the back nine. We need somebody else. Okay? Bring him in as depth, but we need somebody else, either through the draft or someone else who is a safety through free agency. We need somebody else, right? So do not re-sign him at the expense of common sense. Re-sign him because it's a good depth piece. Don't count on him to be a starter while Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph are out. Did you bring back that we bringing back Davenport? No. Mm-mm. No. Mm-mm. We're not bringing back Davenport. Maddox should be re-signed for depth too. Maddox for depth. I am 50-50 on Avonte. If he stays, great. If not, it's okay. But I also know we can only sign so many players. These are facts. Like I said, Rock Ya-Sin and Avonte Maddox for me, just it's at the expense of common sense. I don't. We need something else. All right, this is the last one for defense. Then we're going to switch to offense. Malcolm Rodriguez, linebacker. Synopsis: a core special teams player who provides depth at linebacker. Feelings: we feel he could be brought back on a very affordable, team-friendly deal. His value is primarily seen in his special teams contributions. I mean, you bring Malcolm back. He's not going to try to break the bank. He's going to get a fair contract. He is a Brad Holmes guy. He was drafted in the 6th round, and you know how that goes. So they try to sign all their guys. So he's going to be brought back. I don't have any worries about Malcolm Rodriguez. Bonus, Grant Stewart. With the Grant Stewart thing, I'm just going to say it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you bring back Grant Stewart or not. That's what I would say. Not opposed to Rodrigo or Grant. I don't know how impactful Grant was. I mean, special teams wise, if you get him at a decent price and he wants to come back on a 1-year deal or whatever, that's fine. I mean, but as I said, either way, it doesn't bother me whether he resigns or whether he doesn't resign. Just don't ask him to return kicks anymore. We have to stop that. I'm gonna say no on Stewart. I get that. I'm not, like I said, whichever way the ball bounces on that one, I really don't. I'm not concerned. Stewart can roll, rock, bounce, skate up out of here. Tactical Sport has some feelings about Grant Stewart. All right. So that was it for the defensive free agents. Let's move to offense. Yes on Rodrigo and no on Grant. Right. Like I said, if the price is right for me, I don't care one way or the other. If he stays, awesome. If he goes, great. Doesn't matter to me at all. All right. Offensive free agents. Yeah. Y'all already know what I'm going to say in this one. Y'all already know. I don't know. I'm gonna try to cue it up. I don't know if y'all gonna be able to hear it, but you should be able to because it's coming through the mic. Yeah, so you'll be able to hear it. All right. Let me cue this up first before I say what I need to say. Okay. All right. Offensive free agents. Kyle Allen, quarterback. Hey, no, no. Did you hear it? I just want to know if you heard it because I didn't hear it, but I wanted to know if you heard it. I need to get I got some headphones that actually go to my microphone, but they're too big. I'm not wearing these. But let me see if I can get some volume. Hold on. Plug those in. Let me see if I can hear anything here. No, I can't hear it. So I don't know if y'all can hear it. All right, y'all heard it. Cool. All right. So Kyle Allen, hell to the no, hell no. All right, this is what they say. Synopsis, the primary veteran backup quarterback. Feelings retaining him is considered a high priority to ensure the team has a veteran set of eyes to maintain the offense if needed, rather than relying on a developmental draft pick. No. How about no, Scott? How about no? Okay. I got a bag of shh with your name on it. No, Scott. That's two fingers piece. Heard it. Hell yeah, we heard it. Allen can go rob another team of money. Kyle Allen, sad part is he's better than most backups we had, which isn't saying much. Again, if you want to go get yourself a developmental player in the 6th round, because either way, bro, if Kyle Allen has to be your backup quarterback and he has to go into games and he has to play a string of games because Jared Goff is injured, you're not doing anything anyway. So you might as well get yourself a young, dynamic, mobile quarterback in the 6th round that you can throw in there and at least he can run around if Jared Goff gets hurt. Other than that, no. I was watching this podcast and they were like, oh, he looked really good in the preseason. Did he? Did he? He just looked better than Hendon Hooker after game number 1. That's all. Looked really good in the preseason. Preseason is cap. All right. Let's see what we got going on here. What we should have done last season was bring back Teddy Two Gloves. Yeah, that's what we should have done instead of letting him go to Tampa Bay. All right. The next one is Coyote Awasika, offensive line. Synopsis, a depth piece on the interior offensive line. Feelings, he is valued for his chemistry with the rest of the unit. While his play isn't described as stellar, he is considered solid depth that doesn't make the coaches clutch pearls when he enters the game. So here's the thing. It's a tale of two Yotis to me. It's a tale of two Yotis. You have the Yoti that entered the NFC Championship game, and we rushed for 150 yards in the first half, and he didn't miss a beat or a step. That was next to Frank Ragnow. You got the Yodi, who's not next to Frank Ragnow, and he doesn't do great. I would say, see ya. I'm going to say go ahead and sign someone else. Try to get a little bit better in free agency. You're going to draft a guard at some point who's probably going to be better. So now you've got Christian Mahogany, who hopefully you'll get a starter, and Christian Mahogany can be depth. Yeah, you're going to get rid of Colby Sorsdale. I don't know if he's still going to be on the roster, like what's happening with that. He shouldn't be on the roster anymore. He never should have been on the roster in the first place. But here we are. Yeah, I'm going to say no on Yodi. That's what I'm going to say. I think you can get better there. Bring in Kurt. You like that? No, I don't like that. He's going to be too much money for a backup quarterback. Yodi can Goody. Okay. Yodi don't let the door hit you with a good Lord split you. That is facts. All right. Next one. All right. This one is kind of a heart pull. It's tugging on the heart. The man that was on the thumbnail, Kalif Raymond, wide receiver, punt returner. The synopsis, a veteran receiver and all-pro caliber punt returner. Feelings, although he is a favorite, there is a feeling he might be a concession. The team has to make to save money. The team is better with him, but at age 32, they may look for cheaper alternatives. I'm gonna say this is purely for the vibes. You bring Leaf back. You write his contract and you structure his contract. That's the word I'm looking for. You structure his contract in a way where there is no pain at all. There is no strain on the salary cap. And it's a 1-year deal, maybe 2. I don't trust Dominic Lovett. What I saw in the preseason, the hands are shaky. The moment is big. I don't trust him like that. So if you're primarily going to keep Leaf as a punt returner and not really a part of the offense, then I would say just go ahead and structure that contract properly and bring him back. Because I don't want to be in a game and they punt it to us and Dominic Lovett is back there and he muffs the punt and then we lose the game. You know what I mean? Like I just don't. When Leaf goes back there, you don't worry about him catching it. When Lovett goes back there, you're worried. And I don't want to worry, and I don't want to potentially lose games because of it. Leaf back at the right price. Yes, the right price. As long as the price is right, Bob, I'd love to have him back. After taking Tesla, you might let Raymond walk. And honestly, I would keep TK. Boy is reliable. Are you gonna give TK Lovett's roster spot? If you put TK back there instead of Lovett, I wouldn't be opposed. While TK is reliable, though, he doesn't have any ability. And I don't mean like he sucks, but you know the ability that Khalif has, which is why he's an all-pro returner. I don't think TK has that ability. He can get you some yards, but I don't think he's a threat to break it every time he touches it. You know what I'm saying? I'm on the fence because they drafted his replacement already, but I don't love it. Boom, boom. I see what you did there. Aha. Aha. Where's the spoon? Aha. Hell yeah, I'm giving TK Love a spot, although that's just me. I mean, again, I would give TK Love a spot, but TK doesn't make rosters. He just makes practice squads. So for whatever reason, now you're taking a guy. I mean, I would rather give him a shot because of the trajectory of his career. I mean, it's just been practice squad after practice squad after practice squad. And we do know he's good enough. We do know he has the ability to play in the league. We've seen him in what game was that we saw? I think we saw him in a couple games this year. So, yeah, he's got good hands, catches the football well, reliable. So, like I said, I would rather give him a shot than someone else like Lovett. Meh. All right. Lovett has speed, but what's wrong with his hands? I don't know what's wrong with his hands. He had some easy drops in the preseason. Now he's not Maurice what was his name? Maurice Alexander. Hard time. He's not him. Every time he went back there, it just you knew he was gonna muff it. It's not that bad. It's not to that extent, but I'm just not ready to hand over the reins to him. You know what I'm saying? All right. Next, we have special teams. This is the last one. All right. This is the last one. You heard the JMO and St. Brown speak highly of Lovett. I don't know. Let's see what he does in the preseason. Like I said, when I saw him last preseason, the moment looked too big for him. It's preseason. You understand what I'm saying? Like, so he has the skill set, but can he use it? That's my question. Can he use the skill set? St. Brown's on the ball. But J-Mo knows ball. All right. This is the last one. And after this, you can go on with your mailbag. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they're reading you? Sit next mailbag. Get your mailbag questions in. Get them in. Bask in it. All right. Special teams. Jake Bates, kicker. Synopsis and exclusive rights free agent. ERFA, coming off a season of mixed results. Feelings. His situation is described as interesting because he hasn't signed his tender yet, sparking speculation about a potential extension or holdout. While some are open to bringing in competition, others believe the organization values him as a long-term asset. Here's the thing with Jake Bates. I was championing him coming here. I was on the campaign. I was like, you lock that man in a room like you did DJ Reed. And you don't let him out. I called him psycho because Norman Bates and Jake Bates' leg was psycho, right? I'm sorry. I didn't call him psycho. I called him Jake Bates Motel because of Norman Bates and the movie Psycho. I said he's Jake Bates Motel because his leg is psycho. Okay. I'm on the side of competition is good, but I don't need you to let Jake Bates out of the building and go test because he can't hold out. The only way that he can hold out is he has to sit out the entire season. The exclusive rights tag, maybe he just doesn't want to play under that. Maybe it's too low. It's a low ball thing. I don't know. But I'm on the side of you need to have Jake Bates back here. He's probably the most reliable kicker we've had since Matt Prater. We don't want to go through a situation again where we were a few years ago when we didn't have him, where we couldn't find anybody who could hit the side of the goalpost, much less get it through the uprights. So I'm going to say let's keep Jake Bates. Jakey Boy Bates, yes, bring him back. I would bring him back, but I would bring in competition. If he holds out, let him go. I can see that. Jake should be back. Right. Zach J says, I would keep him, bring in competition, and then if you're comfortable with his replacement, then trade him to a team whose kicker went down in training camp. I just wish that we were like the Cowboys in the regard that they found Brandon Aubrey, and that dude don't miss. You know what I'm saying? This mother effer don't miss. You know what I mean? Shout out Snoop Dogg. All right, get a couple mailbag questions in. I'll answer them, and then I will skedaddle and scoot. But the competition thing for the kicker, that's always good. Don't want them to rest on their laurels. So it is what it is. But I wouldn't be opposed to competition. Maybe a UDFA. Maybe a UFL as well. Has the UFO started? I don't know, bro. They have the worst marketing. I tell you. They don't have any. It's very, very minimal. You get like one or two commercials on Fox, and that's about it. UFL coming in sometime after the Super Bowl. We don't know the date. It's just there. Watch it if you want to. Most of us will not. So yeah. All right. Got no mailbag questions? Okay, here's do you know who Destroying is? Would you give him a shot? I don't think he wants a shot. I think he is just doing social media and happy with it. But if he wanted to come out of retirement and kick in the NFL, definitely. I have zero clue about the UFL. Most people have zero clue about the UFL because they don't want us to watch. They don't promote it like that. It is like if you catch it every now and again on a commercial from Fox, cool. But where's the Twitter presence? Where's the the promoted posts? Where's all that? I haven't seen it. Mailbag, one surprise cut this year. Derek Barnes. It's not gonna happen, but that's what I'm saying. The UFL still plays, and the UFL is going to be for the NFL like what the WNBA is for the NBA, where they don't actually make any money of their own, but the league, the larger league, subsidizes them and gives them money. So I think at some point in time, the NFL is going to. Here's the thing, right? What I would see, and I don't know this, obviously, I'm not a soothsayer, I don't know the future. And this can't happen really too much because the NFL would have to use its money. But what I'm seeing with the UFL is there's two paths. One, you can try to rival college football because now everything is a pay-to-play landscape. I just don't think that you're going to have the money to compete. For example, if a Bryce Underwood were to go to the UFL, would they be paying him $10 million for a 4-year contract? I don't know that. But I think what's going to happen with the UFL is there's going to be people, if they're willing to offer a little bit of change, do something strange for a little piece of change, right? There's going to be players who are not going to get the particular NIL offers that they want to get. And then they'll be like, look, I'll just go to the UFL. You understand what I'm saying? I think there's gonna have to be some sort of shift in the way they do business for the UFL to actually grow in popularity. Because right now, it's not a good product, so people don't really watch it. I don't think the UFL can make it unless they become developmental for the NFL. And that was my second path. My second path was that they would become the developmental league for the UFL. It's going to be like the G League. So basically, it's just something to watch then if you catch it, pretty much. Pretty much. And I've never caught it. I'll tell you that much. What up, though, Lupe Lyons? He said Detroit should hopefully have a team in 2028. And it would be outdoor games. Didn't they stayed, right? The Michigan Panthers stayed in Michigan, I believe, or maybe they didn't. I don't know. But I don't think that the NFL wants to play ball. I mean, they got the Fox Sports deal. For whatever reason they have it. I don't know why they have it, but they have it. You know what I'm saying? So it's got to be something. You got the Fox Sports, you got the TV deal. The NFL has to have something planned. Maybe, how about this? Maybe the NFL uses it as a pathway for international players because they're trying to grow the game so much. So yeah, the pathway for international players. Shout out to them growing the game. Remember, there is going to be a game in Australia, in Melbourne, not far from my house. The Rams and somebody. So I think once they announce the game, then they will start selling tickets. They'll put tickets on sale. Hopefully they're not too expensive because I do want to take my boys. But as you know, Thursday shows, got to keep it high and tight. So appreciate y'all for coming through and participating. If you have not tried out themockmachine.com yet, make sure you go there, themockmachine.com, and you get me your bug reports. And let me know what it is that I need to fix. They're getting rid of the Panthers for now because they can't fill Ford Field. They're thinking about bringing them back once the DCFC builds their stadium. Of course, they can't fill Ford Field. They can't fill anything. It's anyway. Once again, the Motor City Cats are indeed back at it. We came to give you stats, not none of that static. Whatever you do, make sure you keep your Lions news pragmatic. And we are out. Peace.